It's my time. I'm taking it now. I'm taking it. I'm taking it now. It's my time. I'm taking it now. I'm taking it. I'm taking it now. It's my time. I'm taking it now.
train crews are in great spirits.
Get a picture of you all. Thanks for picking up my trash. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, our first location is at Hamburg in the shadow of Blue Mountain. We're just south of CP.
How y'all doing today, guys? Welcome into the stream. We got a lot going on for y'all. And we're gonna do something a little bit different. I have to scoot up a little bit. Alright, guys. Welcome on in. Everybody, welcoming to Bandits Gaming. How are y'all doing today? We are getting the game fired up right now. We're actually gonna do something a little bit different. I gotta get the game to load on in right quick. Should have had the game already fired up by now, to be honest with you. And the one thing I didn't like from last time was it was either the game or something else, and it shut down half the stream like 2 or 3 times. My goal is not for that to happen this time, but we just gotta wait it out and see. Alright, there it is. Yeah, I was working on some of our equipment for the other day. And I finished off at about 12:01 in the morning. So a little near midnight, if you want to put it that way. And that was real time. But everything else that I was working on, y'all will find actually very interesting. We have 2 new engines on the roster. Texas and Pacific, with the exception of Texas State Railroad's number 316, and it has a 3 chime. And then we just added, not perfectly, we added the Mikado, Reading, and Northern 425. And those are both on the roster right now. So we're going to let all of this load in right quick. So y'all can see our 2 brand new engines that are on the roster. That'll also, one of them will be used today, with the exception of another steam engine that'll be used today. So let's let all this load in right quick. Yep. It takes a while for the game to load everything in, but it doesn't take that long. Alright, it should have everything loaded in. Yes, it does. Alright, so before we get started on everything, I want y'all to see Texas State Railroad 316. She's a 462 type steam engine. So that is her actual whistle that we're going to leave on the engine. Hold on. It's been doing this for quite some time now. So this is one of our brand new steam engines that we do have on the roster. So we do have number 316 that's added in. And another engine that we'll be using today. Where did my mouse go? There it is. Okay. We have our new engine, 425, that has been added in on the roster. And y'all are going to see her get out on the rails for the very first time today. There is your 425, and she does have our running 6 chime with her. And we're going to do a special set of events today. So we're going to go ahead and pull her onto this track. We're just putting on this track for now, because I have a steam engine that is not able to get turned on this turntable at all. So and then I'm going to go and put it in neutral for now, because we're going to get our other engine. We are operating a very special set today. We are doing... What is going on with my entire stream today? I have no idea. We are doing a doubleheader run. We're using 2 engines. But what better way to start than using both the 2102 and the 425 as our main consist today. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull it out. That didn't sound good. So this one has to go straight across, because it's way too big to be going across the entire deal here. In fact, this engine is going to go get turned. Because it's too big to be turned on the turntable here, it's going to go get turned on the Y that we typically use. So it's going to go down this track just a little bit. And then once it clears, I always have to throw this switch. It's going to go all the way down here. And then it's going to get on the main track and it's going to get turned. So she's going a little slow, taking her time right now. What's up, QC? Alright, so our 2 engines are going to be operating today. We're going to have a diesel shove the entire consist in just a little bit. What you talking about, QC? Alright, so now our train is going to get turned on the Y, as the other engine will be turned on the turntable. Well, I don't remember what I said. I just said they were pulling the consist out for the day. And I just said we're pulling 2 steam engines out. That's all I said. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Alright, so there goes our steam engine. She's gonna go ahead and get turned around. As she gets turned around on the Y, the other engine will soon be getting turned on the turntable. And then once they're hooked up together, they will be back down to the consist for today's runs. So we're going to go all the way down here and await the arrival on the 2102 on the Y. And then we're going to have it go the other direction. So, and I hate to say it, but all the bells on these engines are the exact same. They haven't made any upgrade on them yet. But I think the bell for the 425 and the 316 fit better. So, anyway, back to what we're supposed to be doing. 2102 is going to get turned on the Y, and then it's going to back down the main. Alright, forward we go. I'm going to let it coast at about a good 10 to 11 mph. It's going to clear this signal and siding up here. At which point we're going to go ahead and get it off. Oh, hello there. So this engine plus the 425 are going to be slightly outside the depot before today's run. And we're going to have a diesel that's going to shove those cars out onto the main. We're going to stop the 2102 about here, where we're going to get the 425 and we're going to hook it on the back of the 2102. I'm going to go and put it in neutral just to be safe. I'm going to go and have it off because we haven't started just yet. Now let's get our 425. I'm going to select you. And now we're going to get you on the turntable and it's going to get completely turned. So that way it's facing the opposite direction. Need to get in here first. Now we gotta turn this engine all the way around. Alright, so now this engine's going to get backed down towards the 2102. And now this turntable is going to be completely turned back the way it should be. Alright, we're gonna go pick up the action with the 425. So Blue Mountain and Redding's 2102 and Blue Mountain and Redding 425 are going to be doing a doubleheader today. This is the first time I'm doing it, but I'm not saying it won't be the last. So, we just got to see. They both have Redding 6 times too. Alright, so both trains are going to wait here. Let me go and stop it. Alright. So, while both trains are sitting here, we're going to get the passenger consists out. We're going to go and kill the headlights on them as well. Alright, so we're going to get our local diesel. We're not going to pull the one from the shed. But we're going to get our local diesel that typically does a lot of the work. Alright, here she comes. Alright. So now we're going to use this same diesel and we're going to pull the passenger cars out for the day. Okay. So this is going to get pulled out of the yard. So our consist is coming out. Our diesel number 9145, one of our GP9s of 2 on the roster, is going to go ahead and pull the entire consist out. Once it clears our main track, it's going to get shoved into the depot where our 2 steam engines are going to use it from there. Everybody, welcome into the stream. How is everybody doing today? Welcome on in. Okay. Now we can bring our train back. And then from here, the steam engines will take over. But we have to get it on the depot track first. This is the first time I've ever done a doubleheader, but it won't be my last. Once the diesel clears the main depot track, then we're going to uncouple it and get the 2 steam engines on the roster out. One of them being the new 425, the other one, still sitting in the shop right now, is 316. So you can see right now the entire train is not only being shoved, it's getting pushed further back on the main line. But it is going to stop short of that light up there. So once it gets slightly on the curve, and with the exception of nobody on board except the crew, then the steam engines are going to back down and pick up the train. Right about there will be good. Now we're going to go get our diesel. We're going to uncouple it, and we're going to take it back and park it where it was a few minutes ago. All right. So now that same diesel that we saw earlier parked is going to go back on that same track. And it's going to sit there until the steam engines are done for the day. So, it's going to get back down once it clears this switch on the left-hand side of the screen there. Which I don't know if y'all can see, but that's not really important. It's more the trains that are important. So, Alright, so it's gonna go back and hide. Oh, hello. Alright, so we're gonna take this diesel and we're gonna go back and put in its hiding spot for now. And then we'll use it to move the train and the cars and everything back. I think I'm slightly short. Alright, and then we're going to leave it like that. And now we're going to go attend to our main attraction, which will be these two up here. We're going to use these two guys. So with both headlights off, I'm going to select the 2102. And what we're going to do is we're going to back it up to the 425. And then 425 and the 2102 are going to back down to their consist for the day. Nice and easy. 3, 2. Okay, they're both opened. Now I'm going to use the 425s because 425 is going to take it back. Make sure it's in neutral. I'm going to select 425. All brakes are going to be released. And 425 is going to take these two all the way down to their consist. So we're going to zoom in. All right. I'm not really going to use the bell for the 425 on this one, because it's coupled up to the 2102. Alright. This is going to be the first time that we're going to try a double header. But I got to go all the way down here, and then I got to hook up the engine with the consist. I don't know what is going on. I don't want it to be lagging on me. I hope not. Yep, I think they felt that. I want to make sure all the headlights are off. Let me get all my brakes. Put this in neutral. And the 2102 is going to have it. But I want to make sure are we fully coupled up to the train? Okay. Alright, we should have it. So now, the fun part is getting all the way down here. And we're just doing basically empty runs. We're just having fun with this. So, 2102. 2102 is going to take the main lead the entire way. Here she comes. With all the extra equipment that is on board. The extra amount of crew. And we'll stop just short here so that everybody can take a look at the train. Almost. 3, 2, and... So we have Blue Mountain Reddings, number 2102 and 425 that are hooked on a double header. So there is your 425, and 2102 is slightly in front of it. The other engine that we did add in the other night while I was off stream, I didn't want anybody to figure it out. We have Texas Pacific, Texas State Railroad, number 316. So we have Texas Pacific 316 that belonged with the Texas State Railroad. I might renumber it one day to 201. That was its original number. Well, no, it was numbered that back in the day. But it was originally numbered 316. We didn't pull it out today because we're not operating anything with Texas State Railroad. Nothing even close. So we're going to get back to our double header. It's going to stay on the BM&R Reading. It's going to stay on the BM&R Reading line. And then after clearing the BM&R Reading line on both sides, there's going to be a Y that the train will have to use to get off of the line. And then have enough to go and turn back around. And I hope there's enough room, to be honest. We just got to see. Let's leave that all up to the 2102. I might consider adding a diesel on there. As far as like a rescue train. I'm not sure. Alright, here we go. Alright guys, 2102 is underway. So we're going to be doing several trackside shots, especially with it leaving the yard. So 2102 at the lead, 425 on the back end of it. Alright. So now we gotta go catch it at another spot. Yes, I know my game's lagging a little bit, but that just comes up with all the equipment that we're using. So, we're gonna try and stay ahead of it. They're both on the main. They're doing pretty good right now. I hope y'all are enjoying this as much as I am. Like I said, never did a doubleheader before. But you have 2102 and 425 on the lead. I gotta keep the throttle up on them just a little bit. We're gonna jump to the other side. One sec here. Alright. So we're going to go all the way to the other end. That way we can beat the train to the other side of the track. Have to go through this mountain apparently. Alright, let's see. Is it going across? Probably not. Oh, it is. So we're trying to beat the train to the other side. And we're trying to make sure the train's not struggling enough. So we are still on the BM&R railroad track. And while we're still on the Reading track, everything's our track. Once we get to a certain area that's not ours, we have to turn on the Y. So our current speed and the speed limit right now is 25 to 30 mph. So that's the goal right now. We will, I don't know if we're going to do run-bys per se, but we might do a layover so that everybody can look at the train and the double header that it is. Because like I told y'all, I never did a double header. There is an area up here where it turns into a siding briefly, where we might do a small layover. And that's where the train will stop so that everybody can look at it, and then it'll continue on its way. And I think this is it up here. I think it is. Well, with the train still crawling at about 25 mph, we'll have plenty of time to get there. I hope y'all are enjoying the stream. Again, welcome to Bandits Gaming. Hit the likes, double tap for likes, share comments, share the stream, everything. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, we are on several platforms today. So I hope y'all are enjoying it. This is where the train will come to a stop for a short brief so everybody can look at it. So we're just now waiting on the train. And we are still on the Reading. We're still on the BM&R Reading line. We're just waiting for it to clear this little hill up here. And then after that, once it clears this hill, it's going to make the stop here. Let me make sure. Whoa! pressed the wrong number key, did I? How do I always press the wrong number keys? Alright, so there's no crossing. Okay. I'll do it about here. It's called Railroader. Very expensive right now. But you guys can get it. Alright, we are still waiting on our train. In fact, there it is. What's up? Oh, not a lot. Had a little sleep here and there, but been okay otherwise. Alright guys, so now it's time for y'all to look at the 2 steam engines that have been powering this trip so far. First time doing a double header. The new engine that we had, one of the two, is the 425 that I worked on the other night. It's been okay. So we do have locomotive 425 that I worked on the other night. And then we have the one we used the other night, which was Reading's 2102. We are still on the Reading line as of right now. Once we hop off the Reading line, we're going to have to get on the Y and turn the train around. Alright, so the 2102, we're going to go and keep following it. There we go. Well, y'all gotta remember, and I've probably tried telling some people this is not the exact thing that I've done before. So this is one of 2 or 3 simulators I have. The other one that I was doing, the actual railroading with Six Flags, that is not this. So if that's why you came to hop in, you're on the wrong stream. Alright. Now our train is struggling just a little bit up the hill. That's one reason why the 2102, the 425, with them being on the Reading lines, they do have to go through the mountains sometimes. They go up and down the hills, so sometimes they'll coast their way up and down, or they will not. Now it looks like we are swapping this direction. I mean, they always swap directions, but they're going to be swapping here. They're going to go all the way across, and then upon doing so, we're going to turn the train around. But we got here just in time for a railroad crossing, so. So, we're going to sit here and wait until the train gets here. And then once the train gets here, it's going to back its way up, turn around on the Y, and then it's going to work its way back to the Reading Depot that we were at a minute ago. Besides, the railroad stuff that I did before didn't involve a keyboard and a mouse. Get a little train break in there. So this is where we're going to turn the train. And then it'll continue on the Reading line all the way back. Alright, so now we're going to be hopping on this leg of the Y. And it's going to have to go through the same exact deal where we're going to have to go through a crossing. But we have to go through it again, I believe. And if not, I could be wrong. But this is where a lot of the whistle and everything comes more into play. Just like how we were on the other leg of the Y. Alright, so now we're going to go back the direction that we just came from, seeing as how we just got back on the reading line. So now that we're back on the Blue Mountain Reading line, we're good to go back to our main station in Reading. We're going to make a brief stop there, and then we're going to continue on further down the line. Alright. So, our train is going to continue outbound. And we just cleared the Y. But it's going back to Reading. The actual Reading area where we were at earlier. And we're going slightly down a downhill grade. They're doing pretty good. I like it. Especially with the new engine that we got in. I'm going to do some pacing shots later. Now we got 2 steam engines that are new that are on the roster now. Anyway, so it's still on the Blue Mountain Reading track. And as of right now, we're trying to make sure that we get it back down to Reading. And then we're going to continue on the Blue Mountain Reading lines before we turn it around again. So yes, it gets turned around multiple times on the entire Reading line. So we go somewhere, we stop, we go somewhere again, we turn around, and we do the same thing, vice versa. So we're trying to keep our speed at least to 25 mph. The train's going to bypass here, and it's going to go about track speed. If you don't know what track speed is, that basically means it's going to stay roughly the same. So alright, so with the train clearing, we're gonna kind of follow it a little bit more. And we're gonna do what we can to beat it to one of the crossings that are on the main line. The good news, we're gonna be doing more than one excursion. Whether it's a double header, whether it's just a single steam engine. We're going to be doing more than one excursion. We're going to be picking several people up on the next excursion. We're just doing this one as an empty run so that we can see how the train itself handles. And when we get to the other end of the line, if it's going to have enough room to clear. That's also what I'm looking for. The good news is right now it's handling pretty good, which I'm happy with. Right now they're just kind of coasting at their own speed. So we are going to make our way back down the hill. And then once we get down the hill, we get back towards Reading, we're going to stop there. Once we stop outside Reading, we're going to continue on outside the BM&R branch. And then from there, we're going to go down a bit further on the line. We're going to turn around again. And then we come back to Reading. Simple as that. But I also have to make sure I have enough room for the entire train to clear. Because if I don't have enough room, then the train is not going to work. So that's one reason why I'm doing a double header, because I haven't experimented with a double header train yet. And we're trying to keep our speed at about 25. Maybe 30. It depends on the speed that the sign says. We're going to go over this little trestle here. And there is a crossing, so I got to find that crossing before the train gets to it. How the hell is that train going faster than when I'm hitting the brakes with? There we go. Okay. So we're going to go across. I'm still going to be speeding around. I'm going to release the brakes again. This is our main line. We're going to hop on it. There's our railroad crossing. This is where we're going to catch the double header train as it re-enters Reading. We're going to get on this side here. Just remember, we're going to be seeing two engines on the doubleheader roster. We already had 2102 once before. This time we added a new steam engine to the roster of Reading 425. Another engine that we added at the roster the other night was Texas Pacific or Texas State Railroad's 316. So the two new engines that I put on the roster the other night when I was not on a stream was Blue Mountain Reading's 425 and Texas State Railroad 316. So we have two new engines that we can use for two different occasions, but haven't experimented with either one of them yet up until today. But we're doing a double header run with 2102 at the lead and 425 behind the 2102. Now, for those that don't know this, as far as railroading, 2102 and 425 double-headed several times last year, and I think the year before. There was a lot of times they did double-heading. I'm just trying to see how it's going to hold this time. I can hear her in the distance, actually. There's your 425 after the 2102 cleared at the lead. Now we're heading back to the yard with 2102. So we're going to try and get to the yard before the train can. I'm going to put a little brakes on it, kind of slow it down so we can catch up to it in time. I gotta start moving some of these engines to the other end of the entire yard, and or the other places that are on the entire map. Alright, so here's a good spot to catch the 2102 and the 425 arriving. And then after they arrive, they're going to continue further on the Reading and Blue Mountain and Reading line. So we're going to stop just a little near the depot track. We're going to let everybody on all platforms take a look at this train. And then we're going to continue on further down the Blue Mountain and Reading line. So now we're going to go this direction. Let y'all take a look at it. So the 425 was the new engine that I added into the game the other night to tag along with 2102. And you're about to see the 2102 as well. And the 2102, this big engine right here, I already had on the roster several weeks or months ever since I got the game. But last night, I added two new engines, the Reading and Northern 425 and Texas State Railroads number 316. So, we're going to go all the way down here, where there are a few crossings are. And then we're going to just enjoy the trip, basically. So we're going to go all the way down here. So that basically means we've got a few minutes to get to the crossings that we want to see before the train leaves. And we got several crossings on this track, at least on this side of Reading. We got plenty of time to catch them. We're going to be going slower than we were before, because this track on this side of Reading is going to be a little bit more slightly difficult. Well, not just difficult alone, the speed's going to be dropped a little bit. So that basically means our train is getting out of Reading. And while it's getting out of Reading, you'll see both the 2102 and the 425 getting on this section of the branch of the Blue Mountain Reading. So it's currently leaving the Reading yard and the station. It's doing a double header. We're still testing to see if this thing is going to work on this section of the track. If not, then we'll have to get a rescue diesel to pull the train back. All fun, all experimenting, so we just have to see, is this going to be enough to clear when we go to the very end of the track and get turned on the Y. So, we're still waiting. And we're going to keep it to about 15 for this trip. Maybe 20 tops. But, the train's going to come across these railroad tracks. As far as the crossing wise, this is going to be the first one we're going to see it. There it is. Readings 2102 and Readings 425. So 2102 and 425. Now we're going to travel a little bit more down the line where there's 2 crossings. So we're going a little bit further down the line now because we got 2 crossings that they have to clear. And they always like to keep the whistle not only loud, but they like to hold it a bit longer. So we are working our way down to the 2 crossings. A lot of this we're doing trackside today. So because we're doing trackside, it's going to be a lot different than what we've typically done. A lot of the times we stay on the cab, but we're actually doing trackside view shots today. Okay. We are keeping it around 15 to 20 mph today too. we are using 425 and 2102. So we both have several engines for the Reading, Blue Mountain Reading roster, as well as Strasburg, Texas State Railroad. We just haven't used all of them yet. Not all of them. So far so good, and we are staying on the main all the way up to a certain point, then we turn around. I'm looking for a good place to basically pace the train, if you want to put it that way. But I can't find any straightaway track. I mean, this is a short amount of pacing, but that wouldn't do me much. I gotta find me another set of straightaway track. If I turn back around now, I'm gonna miss my shot. So we're gonna go further down the line. We were on the Blue Mountain and Reading territory right now. We left Reading a little while ago, and we went to one side of the Reading track. We had to get off and turn on what's called a Y. We had to turn around on it, and then we had to return service back to where we were, and now we are on the same Reading track, but we are going the opposite direction. We're going to go across this little bridge here. In fact, I'm going to do a very neat shot here. We're just waiting on the train to show up around the corner. And then once the train clears, then we'll be good to go. Haven't seen the train just yet as far as coming around the bend here. They always like to have a little fun with the whistle, putting on a show for everybody. But right now we haven't seen the train show up around this trestle yet. So once we see it show up around the trestle, I think we'll be good from there. We've had a lot of fun, I will give you that. So we're just waiting on it to bypass this bridge, and yep. So we just gotta wait it out and see. I gotta see, is the train gonna show up or not. Which, I think we all know the answer. It will. It's just going a little slow. There she is. So we're going to go further down. I wish I could go faster. We're going to go further down where we might have the option to pace, but we do have a crossing up there. That's my flip side. Alright, so we are going to look for the next straightaway as best I can. And we're going to pace the train a little bit. Let me put a little braking because I need to keep that train to go slow. I want this train to go as slow as I can with a minimum of 15 mph and a top speed of 20. And then once we get up around the bend here, I'm hoping I can find some straightaway, but I don't know if I'm going to. Don't know if I'm going to find a straightaway at all. The other straightaways I saw earlier were pretty much further down the line. Is this a straightaway? Might be able to do something here. But I gotta wait for the train to show up. Alright, so we're waiting on the train. And then we're going to pace the train a little bit on the main line. And then after, we're going to be doing some more pacing as well as best I can. I have to get rid of some people on here though. One reason why I have a backup phone is to deal with people on TikTok. Some people are nice, some are not. So we have to get rid of some people. Alright. So now she's going up a hill, so we have to add a little bit more speed for her to continue. But she is about to be able to be paced with our little cameras, so to speak. Not bad. Now we're going to go further down the line. So our top speed can be 20. Minimum is 15. Our restricting speed could be 10. Maybe a little below that because we have to turn everything on the Y. Outside that, I don't see a problem with our speed, so I have to just keep monitoring the speed. Is this another good straightaway track, I wonder? No, it's a curve. Damn it. But there is one coming up on here. But I'm not going to because there's a railroad crossing. So it's going to bypass this station where it's going to go to the next one. So we are going to bypass this station to the next one and then turn around to Reading. But like I said earlier in this stream, I gotta see if we have enough room to clear. And if not, we're gonna have to take one of the engines off. Only if I don't have enough room and turn around. But I don't know. We haven't checked on that yet, so we have to see. Blue Mountain and Reading's 2102 and 425. Doing pretty strong for this excursion. Alright, so we're going to go down a little bit more. At the end of the line, yes. So that we can turn around and get on the Y. And then come back to Reading, yes. But we should be a little bit more before we get there. I'm not allowed to go any faster, buddy. If there was no restricting rules, I could, but these rules are in place for a reason, so I can't go any faster than the posted speed limit or whatever it is that I may call out. So like I said, our minimum speed is 15. Our restricting is 10 when we're turning on the Y. Our top speed could be 20. So we are almost there. We got to keep traveling a little bit more. This might be another area for us to pace. Maybe. But it doesn't last long. I'm trying to see if there's anywhere else where we can make this a little bit easier, but I don't know if there's another straightaway yet. I have to look and see. Outside that one I just saw. Here's a good one. We're going to try and go a little bit slower so y'all can see the trains in action, both steam and diesel. Well, no, I take that back. Not diesel, because we don't have a diesel on this train. So, we are now waiting on our train to round the corner. Okay. Alright, so we're waiting on her. Her speed has dropped. I don't like that. She's pretty far out, actually. She's very far out. Last time I was watching her speed, she dropped. I'm trying to do it just correctly so that we can see a pacing shot of these two steam engines in action. I want to kind of keep it around, I don't know, 12 or 13 mph. But I don't know. I don't want to do 15 or above because then I won't be able to keep up with it. That's my only problem. I won't be able to keep up with it. But we are waiting on it. Alright, I can hear her, so at least she's close. She is very close. I like that. Alright, so I gotta keep my speed underneath or close to 15 for this to work. I'm not from Pennsylvania, no. But you're about to enjoy something from Pennsylvania. Alright. This is where we're turning. I believe. Nope. Still got more to go. Then again, I could be wrong. Yep, that's where we're turning. What do you mean? Okay, hold on. I bypassed it, so I gotta back the whole train up. What do you mean, MU? What do you mean, MU box? I don't know what you mean. Like, literally, I have no idea. So I did go further on the line than expected. However, I have to beat this train back. If I don't beat it back in time, the train won't be able to get turned. So I have to beat the train back. The good news is I have plenty of room on that track to go further out. I'm trying to look and see where I need to be turning. She's going pretty fast for an engine like that. So it looks like that coming up here is the Y that we need to be turning on. And I'm trying to beat the train to it. So what I forgot to do was, it was at the station. I went further down the line than expected. So I forgot that the Y was actually right by the station. So I have to go back at the station. But this is actually common because one of two things. One, it gave me more opportunity to pace the train. And I actually gave the passengers on the train more experience on board. So we're just letting the train coast its way back. So this actually makes it a lot easier for me. The fun part is having to turn it on the Y, which we're about to go to. So it'll be this little curve right here. And we're going to swap it to the other track. And then the train is going to go completely down that direction. So we're going to wait for the observation car to be in our sight for us to clear. So the good news, we do have a lot of room on both directions in order for us to start doing our main operation as far as actually picking people up. We still wanted to run the train empty to see how it was going to hold. And it's doing pretty good. And now it needs to be selected again. Either that or times I have to reset it. Whoever's on TikTok asking if I'm from Pennsylvania. No, I'm from Texas. There's our train. Alright. We have Blue Mountain Reddings 425 and 2102. They're going to go a little bit further. And then they're going to get looped onto another track. Alright, so now we're getting on to this part of the line where we're going to have to turn it right about here is where we're going to stop it. Yeah, it's a PC. So we are going to stop at this station real quick so y'all can take a look at the engines that are powering this train. And then we're going to head back to Reading. And that's where we're going to start all the action. What's up? How you doing, truck? What's going on, Haas? Everybody welcome in. So now we're going to come up front so y'all see the two steam engines that are powering this train. This one I did the other day. So this steam engine I did last night is Blue Mountain Reading's 425. And then you can obviously see some of the numbers, but in a minute I'm going to move it. But you'll actually see Blue Mountain Reading 2102 that is at the lead powering this train. So we're going to move on up, and you can actually see Blue Mountain Reading's 2102 that's powering the actual train right now. And we've been experimenting double headers, and this is just one of them. The first time that I actually did a double header on this train. So we're about to make our departure back to Reading, and that's where all the action is going to start. So somebody just asked a very important question, which it's not really that important, but I'll go ahead and answer anyway. Steam comes out through the smoke box, which comes out from the fire and the water in the tender. So the water coming out of the tender and any kind of fuel that it's using, the water goes through the tender being used into the water pipes in the locomotive in the smoke box. And the fire that is being burned from any kind of fuel that the engine is using, it is being burned off and also going through the smoke box. Hold on. And upon doing so, both fire and water don't mix. Fire and water do not mix. So what they're doing is they're creating a bunch of steam, and that steam is going through the smoke box up through the smokestack. Just to answer anybody's confusion or question about that. I got you, QC. Very nice. Yep. Don't mind answering that question for you. Everybody has pretty much the same questions here and there. But I didn't read the comment until a second ago after I departed. But yeah, I thought I'd go ahead and answer that for you. Now, as a reminder, we're heading back to Reading, and that's where we're going to make all of our actual train stops. That's where we're going to actually start doing things. But we haven't set our schedule yet, so we have to get all the way down to Reading, and that's where we're going to start boarding our passengers. And then upon doing so, hold on, I'm multitasking. Upon doing so, that's where we're going to make several trips, several different places, and then we return everybody back to Reading once we're done. But I definitely wanted to give this a test run to make sure that I could have enough room for both the 2102 and the 425 to clear. Now, we do have Texas State Railroads number 316 also with us. We're just not running it. I plan on maybe getting a few cars and passenger cars, that is, and I plan on operating Texas State Railroads 316 at some point. We're going to get right about here for this shot. They do use steam trains, but majority of the railroads are all diesel now. There are a lot of tourist railroads, and they use steam engines and diesel. A lot of the steam engines that have run, as far as what we call standard gauge versus narrow gauge. Narrow gauge is the tourist railroad lines. Standard gauge is the more common trains. And they've got two trains right now that operate with 4014, the big engine, and then we have the 844. We also have 4449, the 2102, which you'll see here in a minute, and 425. And right now they're double heading. And 425 is on the second steam engine, and the 2102 is at the lead. So you're about to hear and see 2102 and 425 passing this crossing here in a minute. QC, I know the answer to that, buddy. It's a chicken. I'm well aware, guys. You'll see 2102 and 425 momentarily passing this crossing. So in just a minute, y'all will see these two engines powering the train. And let me set that to the side for now. That's my food. Anyway. So y'all are going to see us here in just a minute with the train coming by. And then, yeah, we continue pacing it on. Back to Reading. That's her. So we're going to go down here underneath this little trestle. We're going to see the 2102 coming right around the corner. 2102 is at the lead with 425 on the rear. Or not exactly the rear, but like behind 2102. So we're going to go further down. So we got a few railroad crossings coming, so we're going to go try and catch them. So we're going down a little bit more. Here's the straightaway track. We're going to do what we can to pace the train. I'm going to cut my throttle a little bit. I'm going to try and slow the train down as best I can. Here we go, guys. Y'all can take a look at the 2102 and the 425 that are taking this train back to Reading. All right. Now we're going to break away. Here's 2102. Now we're traveling back to Reading. Got some crossings to deal with. No biggie. But we're trying to get to them as quickly as possible so we can watch the 2102. Here's one of the crossings the train is going to have to come across. We actually got here just in time. All right. We're going to do this shot. Actually, nope. We're going back the other way. There she is. Alright guys, here comes 2102 with 425 behind her. Our top speed is going to be about 20 miles an hour with the exception of 10 miles an hour restricting. 15 is our minimum speed. So now we're going to go catch up with the train. Because it's almost back at Reading. So this is our last crossing to clear before we go into Reading. And then after that, we're going to start boarding at Reading. So we still have our 2 new steam engines on the roster. Blue Mountain and Reading's 425 and Texas State Railroad's number 316. And then at some point I get to eat in front of all of you. Nope. I've got that covered. So now we're gonna go beat the train into Reading. And this is where the rest of my steam engines and a couple of my GP9s are. But we are going to have the train stop just short of Reading. I don't want it to be exactly... Well, it's going to have to go over anyway. I'm going to have it stop slightly short before that crossing as best I can. But, either way, it's still going to get a small break here and there because I get to eat. So we're going to go and apply little brakes first. How far can I go? Let me bring you up a little bit more. I'm trying to figure out how far can I go before that railroad crossing there. Alright. I'm gonna put in neutral. Okay. Alright guys, this is where I get to go. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna have a little food and then I'm gonna be right back. Why does all my audio change? I hate how my audio changes on me all the time. Okay. Well, we're gonna be right back. Gonna have a little food and then we'll be right back. So I'll be right back, guys.